Welcome to Yma Mat Chat with Coach Les and Mr. Yarwood, episode number 72. Are you allowing excuses to hold you back? That's the question we're going to look at today and discussion we're going to get into over the next 30 minutes. So stay tuned, have a little fun, listen in, send us a note or two. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Welcome, Mr. Yarwood. What caused you to choose tonight's topic?
Well, first I'm going to answer that question. Yes. End of podcast. No, it's something that I think we may not even realize we're doing sometimes, right? We are not able to distinguish the difference between excuses and reasons, right? We have valid reasons for things, but we make up excuses because we don't want to do something, right? We come up with, I say excuses are lies that you tell yourself to get out of things you don't want to do, right? Which ends up being lies you tell everybody else the same. So excuses are, they're poison, I think, because little ones lead to bigger ones, right? I always think of one, and this one's probably everybody's done this one, say Christmas or New Year's or something, and you make up an excuse so you don't have to go to your in-laws for Christmas, right? Oh, yeah, the dog has to go to the vet. Oh, my car doesn't work. I gotta go to, you know what I mean? So you're coming up with a reason or an excuse to not go visit your in-laws, right? It's while that might be funny, that's how we think, right? We come up with in our head an idea to, well, how do I get out of this thing that I told myself I was going to do or told somebody else I was going to do? That's basically what it is. Is what lie can I come up with so I don't have to go do something? And it permeates everything, right? If you allow it to be the way you think about things, you're going to find yourself in a lot of problems because you become, if say you are tell your friends that you're going to go do something for them, say they need help somewhere in moving, for example, which everybody hates, but you committed to help your friend move, right? And then you day of come up with an excuse because you don't want to go, right? Tell them, hey, I had a family thing come up, right? Oh, okay, no problem. But you actually just lied to your friend, right? And if you do that consistently over time, every time you commit yourself to something and then lie about it, excuse it, then they stop trusting you. They stop asking you for things. They stop doing all that stuff, right? And it becomes detrimental to your relationship. It becomes detrimental to you personally. It could be a physical thing. Maybe you tell yourself every day, I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. and go work out, right? And then 6 a.m. rolls around and you hit the snooze button and then you go, I don't know, I don't have the energy today. I don't blah, 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 right? Excuses you tell yourself to get out of doing something you really don't want to do. So it permeates everything you do. And sometimes they're nefarious little tiny things, like what do we call them? Little white lies, right? But over time they add up. So think about things that you have told yourself or others to get yourself out of things today, not just in the past, today. What did you tell yourself today to get yourself out of doing something you didn't want to do?
Well, I will tell you this. For me, a reason is something that we use to, explain why something happened without really blaming anything or anyone. While an excuse, blame, it's just like a wide blast shotgun. It blames
Yep.
something external, and it completely avoids personal responsibility.
Yep.
And when I look at this and I think about it, um, you've got these people that, have an excuse about something. Well, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Right. Whereas a reason is, it's like, you know what? I'm responsible. And even though the reason may not be a valid one, it just happened to be, this is my reason. I was procrastinating and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get to it, and it blew up in my face.
Yep. Because you accepted it, so it's not, you didn't blame other things, outside forces,
Yep.
other people, right? You, even though it could have been an excuse, you turned it into a reason because you accepted responsibility for the reason.
Yeah. And for me, responsibility is the willingness to be cause on the matter of one's life.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is ultimately a context from which one chooses to live moment by moment by moment.
Yep.
And, excuses avoid that responsibility and therefore put everything else in control of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally, you are like a pinball going through life. React,
Yep.
react, react, react,
Yep.
react,
You
react.
give up control.
Oh, and I'm not saying, I'm not saying that there aren't times when you're stuck, you know, you're on a boat that's sinking.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so what am I going to do? Am I going to, if you think about the people on the Titanic, think about how many of them, they knew they were sinking. They knew they were in frigid water.
Yep.
They had a choice. They could figure it out, get onto a lifeboat, or jump and maybe not survive. And a lot of people jumped and gave up
Mm-hmm.
and let the cold numb them and take them away into death.
Yep.
So when you look at who are people, are you someone that, and this is in segment 2 in your notes for today, are you somebody that is okay and comfortable being discomfortable, living in that discomfort, working through it? Do you have are you somebody that's afraid, a fear of failing publicly? Like, there was a time when that was me, right? I hated failing in public, hated it.
Mm-hmm.
I would do anything and everything I could to not fail in public. And at some level, it made me an extraordinary salesperson because I was not going to fail, right? And when it came to hitting quotas, and if I hit this quota, I made more money than anybody else, or I hit this, I got a watch for being salesman of the year, I figured out how to make it happen. And other people, you could see them. They went so far and then they gave up.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's and I don't know if I have it behind me on my board or not. No, but Marianne Williamson has the whole, sometimes we're afraid to succeed.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah. And that keeps us small.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's not, and I don't know that it's necessarily the failure or the fear of success. It's the fear of the failure that could happen if you try to succeed.
mm-hmm.
Right? Because in order to succeed, you're going to fail at some point. right? And if you're not one of those people who's willing, like you said, you don't want to fail, then you're going to stop yourself from succeeding because it takes failure to get there. So it's not necessarily the success that you're afraid of; it's the failure that you could get along the way, and you don't want that.
And I think one of my favorite um, sayings is "fail forward."
Yep, and fail
And
fast.
yep, fail fast, fail forward. Faster you get there. I mean, my goodness, when I was a door-to-door salesperson and I got a no, I ran to the next door.
Mm-hmm.
People would laugh. They like, Les, do you even let somebody get to the door? But like I shared with somebody last night, I still have my pitch memorized from 1982 on on this coupon book that I sold door to door. And at that point, that memorization took away the fear of failing. And I knew that based on the success around the Twin Cities that this gentleman had, I knew that if I did this to enough doors, I'd get yeses.
Yep. It's a matter of numbers.
Yeah. And I chuckle, I remember Carter, selling his, oh my gosh, here's a guy
Coupon cards.
who was a little bit anxious, right? And if you saw him in class, you go, yeah, he's not a salesman. And yet he outsold everybody almost 10-1.
Yep.
And you can see the difference that has made, like as a building block in who he is.
Yeah, I think like that, he, in his particular situation, but I guess it applies to all, is like he just worked through his fear, didn't make any excuses, right? He found that this is what I got to do. This is what I'm out here for. So I'm going to do it, right? That's what I came here for. There's no other reason for me to be here. So that's what I'm going to do.
Some will, some won't, some won't.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Most won't, but some will. And enough of them will that I'm going to do well.
Yep. So one of the things that, in Are You Allowing Excuses to Hold You Back? You came up with some common excuses. And I think these are epic. Why you don't do something. I don't have time.
That one, okay, for me, like my students, everybody's busy. Nobody's busier than anybody else. We're just busy with different things, right?
And we all have
the same,
24, and we all have 24 hours in the day.
And I hear some of my students say, "Oh, I got school, and then when I get home, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, and I don't have time to practice." And I say, well, I want to say B as in B, S as in S. But I'll say, you know what? I can find you 15 minutes in your day. All you need is 15 minutes. I guarantee you I can find 15 minutes. What's the first thing I ask them that they do? Play video games? Yes. Oh, okay. How long? Some of them hours.
I know.
And I go, so you have time to play video games for 2 hours, but you don't have time to practice your taekwondo for 15 minutes. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? because we can fix that. That's easy. So there's no way that you can tell me you don't have time if you're spending time on things that shouldn't deserve as much time as they get. That's easy. So the don't have time thing is total BS. You can find time. If it's important to you, you'll find time. Plain simple.
Yep. And if not, welcome
Get
to
up.
the rest of the world.
Get up 15 minutes earlier. Get up 20 minutes earlier. Spend 10 minutes less on something. That's it. You can find the time. Don't tell me you don't have it. Because if you don't have it and you're a 14-year-old kid, then you're never gonna have it. You got to figure it out now.
Yeah, and it's one thing to acknowledge I have the time, and I wrestled with taking the time to do it versus going out and playing, and I chose to go out and play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you have a consequence.
Yep.
How do you want to deal with the consequence?
Yep.
And that it really is that simple.
It is. It's a choice that you make. Choices have consequences, good or bad.
Now, segment 4 says the hidden costs. And I think this one is we're starting to now touch on the things that people are oblivious to that really, really hijack them.
Yep.
Lost momentum, lowered self-trust, shrinking standards,
That one hurts.
and identity erosion. And I look at those 4 things, and I'm going to use martial arts as, once again, it's my nemesis. And I completely lost momentum. Last time I was, there practicing, I look up and somebody who I was right there with in the game is now a black belt. And there's a sadness that hits me that I have to be careful not just to turn around and go, oh, well, F it.
Yep.
Which is right there.
Mm-hmm. It's easy.
Oh, well, I think I've surpassed that part because to me, it's not easy. It sucks going down that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really does. It's just this, it's to me, it so sucks, so frustrating that I turn my back on it because I don't have self-trust around it anymore. I've set the standard, like I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah.
And I just, start to go, well, this is one area of my life where I fail.
Yeah, the shrinking standards thing, that for me is a huge thing because you allow yourself to we all have standards in our life, right? And some higher than others. But when you have a certain standard and you fail to meet that consistently, instead of doing what they can to meet that standard, just say, well, I'll just lower them. Then it's not as hard, right? They don't have to live up to as much. Right. And it becomes this pattern that, okay, now I have this standard. This is lower than it was before, but it's my standard. Now I give myself excuses not to reach that standard. Right. So once you allow yourself to bring them down, there's no bottom, right? You'll just allow it to keep going on. No big deal. I've done it before. And it turns into this you're falling and shrinking your standards so much that you end up really not having nothing that builds your structure around what you're going to do, how you run your day, how you run your life, how you go to work, how you treat your family, how you go to church, whatever it is, right? If you don't have standards that guide you, then anything's on the table. You can do anything, right? And just whatever. And you don't have, there's no justification. Oh, well, I do this because, right? You just do it. And there's no reason to it. So without those standards that you set for yourself, that you keep yourself and hold yourself accountable to, you're going to be lost.
Without guidelines, humanity goes poop.
Yep. Chaos.
So breaking the cycle, we've talked about this now. Replace motivation with standards, shrink the action, audit your language, change I can't to I'm choosing not to.
My school, I can't, is banned. That's a banned word. It's not allowed at all, not in the school, not outside the school, not anywhere. It's been removed from their vocabulary. And I'm very, very strict about it because of how detrimental it can be. It's one word. It's no big deal. No, yes, it is a big deal.
Huge.
Because it's a word that is so nefarious. It just creeps in there, right? I can't do it. Well, you just quit. No, I didn't. I just said I can't do it. Yeah, you quit. Are you a quitter? Do you like to quit? No. So then don't say the can't. Don't say can't. Because that means you quit. You're giving yourself permission to quit.
Which then in turn stops you from overcoming a potential breakthrough.
Yep.
And puts you down in the rut of normal.
Mm-hmm. We've changed it to currently unable. Because right now you might struggle with it, but if you work at it, practice, you will be able to do it.
Yep.
In this moment, you might struggle with it, and that's fine. We all have those issues. But if you say can't, you stop in your tracks. And then you're not going to work on it because you've already told yourself you can't do it. And once you tell your brain that, your brain's like, okay, we can't do it. And that's a hard thing to come back from. But if you tell your brain, hey, you know what? We're really struggling right now, but if we keep working at this, we're going to get it. That's a whole different mindset.
It can't, for me, can't reminds me of putting water on a fire. Right? You put a water on a fire, you're going to douse the fire out. Now, all of a sudden, somebody comes back and says, oh, hey, guess what? We got another couple hours. Let's get the fire going again.
Too wet.
It's too wet. It's wet. It is not going to be easy to get that bad boy started again.
Yep. Yeah, I like I said, I'm a totalitarian tyrannist when it comes to the word can't in my school and coming out of my students' mouths. I can hear it across the school. I'll be talking to somebody else, right? And all of a sudden I'll hear somebody and I'll turn and go, what did you just say? And they're all like,
he heard.
Guess what happens? They drop immediately. Immediately. And what's funny is that other students call them out when they say it. Oh, yeah. I heard that. Right? So now they keep themselves accountable. Yeah. And then now they're learning the integrity of, I screwed up. I got to do what I got to do. So there's so much to it now. It's like it's become this. It's its own entity within our school. We call it the C word.
Dun, 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 dun.
And I'll be talking to like new parents that come in, and I'll tell them about it, and I'll say, oh, I could call any kid over there on the floor over here and ask and try and get them to say it, and they won't say it.
Yeah.
They won't, because they know.
And there are some that just are not going to let you trip them.
Yep, I try, and if they've been training themselves enough, they won't do it.
Yeah.
But it's an important thing to me. It's like it's such a limiting word that it needs to be just banished.
You know, for me, the word that's very similar to that is but. The excuse.
Yeah, that's an excuse word. And then you put the two together. I want to, but I can't.
I want to, but I can't. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think this is great, and I think I love your closing challenge for everybody. I think this is going to be absolutely on point. You know, for 7 days, catch every excuse and write it down.
You're going to be busy.
And replace it with action.
Change your pathway.
Change your pathway, change your future.
Mm-hmm.
So,
excuses lead you down a dead end.
I'm super excited to play with this week. I want to thank you because this was a perfect topic, perfect length, everything about it. Rock on. Anything more for you, sir?
Just a reminder, excuses are lies you tell yourself to get out of things you don't want to do.
Yep. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching. And here's a little fun